mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine.
All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Poole Locke YouTube channel. I'm James Locke. Today we're going to answer some of the Ask James questions of the day. So this question is from Janet. She says, is my risk tolerance all pretty much the same all the time, or would it change based off my different goals? All right, well, of course, it changes based upon goals to some degree. How important the goal is to you and your overall financial situation. For example, if it's something like paying for college for your child, that might be pretty important. So you might say, okay, I've got a lower risk tolerance there because I can't afford to lose. Now with retirement, as you're younger, it might be a greater risk tolerance. But as you get closer, you might think, okay, I've got to lower that risk tolerance and focus more on income generating investments. But what if you were saving for a second home? You might say, okay, well, I have a nice first home. I don't really need a second home. So you might say, well, I could take more risk there, right? And if that works, I get my second home sooner. And if it works, maybe I get a second home and have money left over for additional income producing investments. Now, what if it doesn't work? If it doesn't work and I have to wait longer to get my second home because I got stuck in a downdraft in the markets, so be it. So it absolutely positively depends upon the goal and that goal's importance to you. And, like I said, a retirement, as you get closer to it, usually that reduces your risk tolerance because when you start getting, certainly within 10 years of retirement, you start to think, okay, I want to retire. I don't want to have to be forced to work another 10 years. So, and we always talk about, that on the radio show and on this YouTube channel, how the first 13 years of this century, the market was underwater, right? And it happened once. It tells you what? It can happen again. So the reality is that, unless you're willing to postpone retirement for as many as 13 years, you need to consider shifting towards more stable income producing investments. That's why people really want to reduce their risk as they get close to retirement. Right? So yes, it definitely depends upon the goals. But like I said before, it also depends upon whether, you earned it or whether it's inherited, right? If it's inherited, it might be different. It's found money. You won the lottery. It's found money. But if it's money that you worked hard to earn, and maybe you bought a more conservative car so you could save more money in your 401k every month, or maybe you took a more conservative vacation so you could save more money, then you made sacrifices, and now you're emotionally connected to that money. And in that case, no matter what the purpose, you're probably going to have a greater risk aversion than a propensity to take risk because, again, you've made sacrifices to get it. So this is why many people approaching retirement prefer to focus on income generating investments like dividend stocks or bonds or real estate investment trusts that can provide a steady stream of income without much volatility. Hey, Janet, I hope that helps answer your question and kind of gives you some insight into how risk tolerance can change based on your goals and how that might affect your investment strategy, particularly when it comes to investing for income as you approach retirement. All right, that was a great question. Thank you, Janet. Thanks so much for that. And if you would like to send in your question, you can do so. You can email it to poolelock@poolelock.com. All right, we're going to move on to our second question. And our second question today, that comes from Brad. Brad says, I've heard you talk about this before, the I want versus the I need goals, but I'm really having a hard time differentiating between the two of them. All right, this is sometimes difficult for people, Brad. I always suggest people do this when it comes to setting goals for retirement income. Take a look at your income today. Subtract the expenses that are going to go away. So you're probably not going to be putting money into your 401k anymore, Brad, when you retire. So you can subtract that right off. You're not going to be paying FICA tax when you retire because that's only on earned income from employment. So you can subtract that right off. If you plan to have a mortgage paid off, you can subtract the principal and interest component of the mortgage. If you're putting money in a credit union, saving money every month, you can subtract that. Subtract any debts that might be paid off, credit cards that, if they're going to be paid off in retirement, then you can subtract those payments. So eventually, you're going to get to the bottom line. And this is how much, and by the way, make some tax adjustments as well, but then you get down to this bottom line, and this is how much money you're going to need pre-tax right now to live the same lifestyle that you have today. And that's going to be a lower number than you're actually earning because you subtracted away those expenses that have gone away. Now, that's your I need goal. That's what you need to live in the same lifestyle, because I'm sure you don't want to live a lesser lifestyle in retirement. But then, Brad, here's the rub. You retire. You have more time on your hands. More time on your hands means you're going to want to do more things. Doing more things means you're going to want to spend more money. And this is when you have to sit back and think about everything you want to have, do, and become in retirement. And really dream about what retirement is going to look like for you. I suggest sometimes, saving up your retirement time. Maybe you get 4 weeks, take 4 weeks off in a row one year. And just pretend you're retired. Live like you're retired. See what you do to fill the time. And try to attach dollar amounts to that. And most people find that if they're calculating their I need goals in a lesser number than their current income, when they add back in the things they're going to want to do with all that spare time, kind of comes right back up to their pre-retirement income in many cases, maybe even more. So again, you really have to do some deep goal setting processes to know what you want to do in retirement, or otherwise you'll have a negative surprise. And of course, nobody wants that. Now, when it comes to investing for income to meet these goals, it's crucial to consider a diversified approach. Your I need goals should be covered by more stable income producing investments like high quality bonds, dividend paying stocks, or annuities. So these can provide that steady stream of income to cover your essential expenses. Now, for your I want goals, you might consider a mix of growth and income investments. So this could include maybe a combination of dividend growth stocks, real estate investment trusts, REITs, and perhaps some higher yield bonds. The idea is to have investments that can potentially provide both income and capital appreciation to fund those extra activities and experiences you want in retirement. Now remember, Brad, the key is to strike a balance between having enough income to meet your basic needs and having a potential for growth to fund your wants and protect against inflation. It's also worth considering that your wants might change over time, so maintaining some flexibility in your investment strategy is important. Lastly, don't forget to factor in unexpected expenses or potential healthcare costs. These can blur the line between needs and wants, so it's wise to have a buffer in your income strategy. So this might mean setting aside a portion of your portfolio in more liquid income producing investments that you can easily access if needed. So it was a long question there, but that was a great question and an important one, understanding the goal setting. So as always, if you'd like to send in kind of your questions, you can do so by emailing them to us at poolelock@poolelock.com. And if you like what you heard, go ahead, like and subscribe to our channel. I'm James Locke, your retirement income source. I'll see you next time.
Money on my mind, looking for a dime. James Locke in the house, gonna help you shine. Retirement is near, don't you live in fear. Listen up, my friend, let me make it clear. Savings in the bank.